Hey, welcome to a new chapter of Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another chapter, thank you so much for giving this little horror podcast a listen. And if you love the show, just drop me a review over on your favorite podcast app. I would love to hear what you think of the show. So this week I have another indie horror movie that is coming out this Friday. It is called Oddity. It is written and directed by Damian Mc Carthy, whose previous film, Caveat. And I just watched that this week. I'll talk about it a little bit at the recommendations at the end. But before we roll into Oddity, I just want to say if you're in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. So thankful to partner with the Esquire Theater here in Cincinnati to bring you various horror screenings. And our screening for July is The Blair Witch Project, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary. I am so excited to be able to host a screening of this movie. So July 19th, 10 p.m., let's watch a movie together. It's time to move into Oddity.
Could you open the door?
What do you want?
You're in trouble.
What?
Would you just open the door? I am telling you that there is someone in there with you. Why do you want it?
He took my sister's life. I want to see what was going through his mind. You said I should visit on Danny's anniversary.
The thought of another patient showing up the front door here.
Would you allow them in?
Of course not.
My sister would never allow a strange man into her home in the middle of the night.
She's saying some weird things to me, Dad.
She's clearly not well.
Do you mind staying out here alone at night?
I'm just telling you what I saw.
Danny's ghost. My dead wife is not haunting this house.
When Danny is brutally murdered at the remote country house that she and her husband Ted are renovating, everyone suspects a patient from the local mental institution where Ted is a doctor. Soon after the killing, the suspect is found dead. A year later, Danny's blind twin sister Darcy, a proclaimed psychic and collector of cursed items, pays an unexpected visit to Ted and his new girlfriend. Convinced that there was more to her sister's murder than people know, Darcy has brought with her the most dangerous items from her cursed collection to help her exact revenge. This movie is written and directed by Damian Mc Carthy. It stars Carolyn Bracken as Danny and Darcy, Gwillem Lee, Tag Murphy, Carolyn Minton, Steve Wall, and Johnny French. And like I said, this drops in theaters this Friday. And I'm going to kind of keep it spoiler-free for the most part. I think I might dig into some spoilers here a little bit towards the end, but I will let you know if I do. So Damian's previous movie, Caveat, which came out in 2020, was a very slow burn kind of horror movie that kind of ramps up towards the end. And this film, Oddity, is very similar. It starts off pretty quickly at the beginning. You get this woman who ends up alone in this new house. Someone comes to the door, and this person, he's got one white eye, and he's like, I need in the house. There's somebody in the house. Let me in the house. Trying to convince her to let him in to help her. She ultimately decides not to, and she dies. So a year later, her twin sister, who is blind, and she runs like this curiosities and oddities type of store with like cursed items and various things. I mean, as you're going through the shelf of this, one of the things on the shelf is the bunny rabbit from Caveat, which I thought was fantastic. Kind of, to me, it kind of puts them both in the same universe. And Ted talks to her. She eventually comes out to the house. She wants to, on the anniversary of her sister's death, she wants to basically find out some answers. She brought some things with her. She's going to use some psychic powers to find things out. This movie it's a slow burn. It starts off quickly with that opening scene, and then it's kind of a slow burn from there. It's Darcy is trying to figure out what happened. She's using various things, and Ted's new girlfriend, Yeany, is in the house, not wanting to be there with her. The thing that she brings with her is this creepy wooden mannequin. And let me tell you, if you've seen Caveat and you thought the rabbit was creepy in that movie, this life-size wooden mannequin might be even creepier or just as creepy, because it just sits there. It's got its mouth open, and it's sitting at a table, and it's just rough, kind of etched and dirty and just creeptastic. Let's just say that. And as the movie kind of rolls along, see, I'm going to kind of dive around spoilers a little bit. As it goes along, you kind of find some more out of what happens. Darcy uses her psychic abilities to try to figure out some past on some things, some story on some things, as she tries to figure out what happens. And it kind of leads up to this revelation of what happened, and a pretty crazy, I don't want to say crazy, in this ending that is just as creepy as you might think it could be, where it's kind of left open at the end. You kind of leave this is left open at the end with, we could have sequels. Like I said, I feel like Caveat is in the same universe as Oddity. So whatever movie he decides to do next, he could bring in some other creepy object and continue on kind of like these one-off stories, almost Conjuring-esque, with Annabelle, the Nun, all the different things, but kind of in a different way. This is really well done. It is creepy. It's not as creepy. My last episode, I talked about Longlegs. It doesn't get quite under your skin like Longlegs does, but it is very enjoyable. And I like this slow, dark kind of pacing that it takes throughout. Damian Mc Carthy does the same thing in Caveat, where there is some dark, just a slow burn. He just kind of lets the story kind of build up a little bit. There are a few moments in this film where it kind of feels a little clunky, or its pacing kind of feels like it really dies and you want it to kind of pick up. It didn't hurt the movie for me overall. I'll probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was very well done and would recommend checking out, especially if you are a fan of Caveat. I think you'll really like Oddity. You'll love this slow burn style in the Irish countryside, and I do look forward to what Damian Mc Carthy does next, whether it is another original horror story like this in Caveat was, or if he will move into a franchise or something else. He's got 2 solid movies under his belt. These last 2 movies that he's done under his belt, I really like them, and look forward to more horror. Full spoiler right here. What really gets me in this movie is when the mannequin moves. Let's just say that. That's all I'm going to say for my spoiler piece. The mannequin. The mannequin is creepy. It's on the same, I thought the rabbit in Caveat was creepy, and I want him to come up with another creepy ghost story for whatever he has next. But yeah, go check out Oddity when it comes out. Highly recommended, especially if you love Caveat. And with that, on my way out, that is my recommendation for you to watch at home. Is if you haven't seen Caveat, I just watched it this past week because I got the screener for Oddity and I wanted to see his previous film. I had not seen Caveat. I had it on my watch list for quite some time. So it was kind of like this perfect time of like, all right, let's watch Caveat so I can go in, watch Oddity, and kind of know his style, know how things work. Johnny French, who is in Oddity, is the main character in Caveat. And it is that same kind of single location, slow burn, dark movie, kind of like this is. This mostly takes place in the house, Oddity does, and Caveat is the same way. It takes place in one house. This man's chained up. He's watching someone. I loved it. I thought it was a really well done movie. Highly recommend it. If you have Shudder, that's where I watched it on. I watched it on Shudder. But go check out Caveat, and then you can watch his new film, Oddity, which is out this week. As I head out, I have a little promo for you. The second season of the Paramount series Halo, based on the Xbox game franchise, is available on DVD, Blu-ray, and limited edition 4K UHD Steelbox on July 23rd, with every episode from Season 2 and nearly 2.5 hours of special features. See Master Chief, Cortana, and the other Spartans of the Silver Team take on humanity's greatest threat, the Covenant. Get your DVD, Blu-ray, or limited edition 4K of Halo Season 2 on July 23rd from Paramount Pictures. Well, that will do it for another chapter of Old Man Brad. Make sure you subscribe to the show and you will never miss any of these episodes or any of my serious tales from Tubi. I will be back soon with a brand new episode. I have the filmmakers for the new film Graveyard Shark are coming on to chat with me. Just watch for that one coming next. And if you really love the show, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.